What's up, y'all? Hey.
Alright, let's see how this goes down. Trapped in Granny's lair, Miles the Ice Warrior, Izzy the Fire Queen, John the high-tech genius, and Jack the magic teenager find themselves in a dim, dusty room. The air is thick with a stale, metallic scent, and the only sound is the creaking of an old house. A chilling sense of dread hangs heavy. Where are we? Izzy whispers, her usual fiery confidence dimmed. Looks like some kind of dilapidated house, John mutters, his eyes already scanning the room for any tech he could repurpose. He pulls out a small, foldable device from his pocket, its screen glowing faintly. My signal's jammed, and my schematics for the local area are showing nothing. Miles, ever observant despite his quiet nature, points to a boarded-up window. This isn't just old, it's sealed. He tries to push against it, but it doesn't budge. Suddenly, a floorboard creaks nearby, and a low, guttural growl echoes from the hallway. Jack, who usually projects a cool demeanor, visibly shivers. What was that? A hulking figure, barely visible in the gloom, shuffles into view. It's Granny. Her eyes are wide and unsettling, and she clutches a bloody baseball bat. Fresh meat, she rasps, a horrifying smile spreading across her face. Stay back, Izzy yells, a small flame flickering in her palm. Granny lunges. John, quick thinking, throws a flash grenade he'd been working on. The room is engulfed in a blinding light and a deafening bang. Granny recoils, momentarily disoriented. Everyone, split up. John shouts, "Find a way out and stay quiet." Miles moves like a shadow, melting into the deeper parts of the house. Izzy, meanwhile, conjures a small firewall to block Granny's immediate path, giving herself a few precious seconds to escape down a different corridor. John races towards what looks like a control panel, hoping to hack his way out. Jack, remembering his training, begins to silently chant, preparing a defensive spell as he slips away. The nightmare has just begun.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is crazy. Oh my gosh, there's nowhere near what I'm talking about. Okay, can I type normally? Okay. They could just probably kill her, but no, we're gonna have to.
The hunt begins. The blinding flash dissipates, leaving Granny sputtering and enraged. The brief disorientation quickly turns into a cold fury. Naughty, naughty children, she mutters, her voice a low growl that echoes through the house. Her head snaps from side to side, her eyes darting, trying to pinpoint where her guests scattered. She raises her bat, tapping it ominously against the dusty floorboards. Miles moves silently through the shadows of the old house. He presses himself against a wall, his ice-cold skin helping him blend with the chilling atmosphere. He can hear Granny's shuffling footsteps growing closer, her heavy breathing a terrifying rhythm. He knows he needs to find an exit, and fast. Meanwhile, Izzy had ducked
Or freeze the old hag.
into the kitchen, the lingering scent of decay almost making her gag. She hears the thud of Granny's bat against the wall, getting nearer. With a quiet flick of her wrist, she sends a small, controlled burst of flame towards a loose floorboard, hoping the creak will distract Granny. It works. Granny's footsteps pause, then shift towards the sound. John has reached what appears to be a fuse box in the basement. Wires are tangled, and the ancient circuits spark ominously. He works with intense focus, his fingers flying across the panel. Come on, he mutters, trying to reroute power to an emergency exit, or, failing that, set off a house-wide distraction. Upstairs, Jack is hidden under a bed in one of the dilapidated bedrooms. He's silently weaving a complex spell, his hands moving in intricate patterns. He needs something potent, something to either disable Granny or create a powerful diversion. He can hear the heavy thudding of Granny's footsteps on the stairs, getting closer and closer to his hiding spot. The old house holds its breath as the hunt intensifies. What happens next? Does one of them get caught?
Not a chance.
The muddy distraction and the weapon key. Jack, still hidden under the dusty bed, finishes his incantation. A shimmering brown light glows beneath the bed, and then, with a squelching sound, a mud octopus solidifies. Its muddy tentacles twitch, and its 2 eyes, formed from dark pebbles, fix on Jack. "Find Granny," Jack whispers, pointing towards the bedroom door. "Distract her, keep her busy." The mud octopus, surprisingly agile despite its composition, silently slithers out from under the bed and oozes into the hallway. It senses Granny's lumbering presence nearby and quickly moves to intercept her, its muddy form blending into the dim lighting of the house. Meanwhile, Miles, navigating the dark, cluttered hallways with his usual stealth, stumbles upon a small, ornate chest tucked away in a shadowed corner. His keen eyes, accustomed to low light, notice a faint gleam from within. He carefully pries open the lid, revealing a single, antique weapon key. It's heavy, made of dark, aged metal, and seems to hum with a strange, dormant energy. Miles pockets it, knowing it could be crucial. Just as he secures the key, a loud, squelching thud echoes from down the hall, followed by a surprised grunt from Granny. The mud octopus has found its target. With Granny distracted, what will John and Izzy do next? And what is the weapon key for?
Do these small, orange part to you hold, you grab, and then it's a really small. It's like a silver part of that orange thing on there, like a key orange part to it. You grab on it. You use the handle for the key, whatever. So it doesn't have a weird energy. It's just an orange key, orange with the orange thing, the key thing. There's no energy to it. It's really small. It's actually small, key size. Padlock key. And a and the, let's see, spider keys. Do you want to say? He might change it up.
New discoveries and a looming threat. The sounds of the mud octopus squelching and Granny's frustrated grunts echo through the house, providing a much-needed diversion. In the dusty depths of the basement, John's intense focus pays off. While trying to reroute wires, his fingers brush against something cold and metallic tucked away in a small, hidden alcove behind the fuse box. He pulls out 2 distinct keys, a sturdy, old-fashioned padlock key and a smaller, intricately designed spider key. His mind races, trying to connect these new finds to potential escape routes or hidden mechanisms within Granny's twisted abode. He pockets them quickly, his mind already formulating a dozen theories about their use. Upstairs, Izzy, using her heightened senses to navigate the dark, searches through a cluttered pantry. Her eyes, usually drawn to warmth and light, spot a small bag of birdseeds on a high shelf, and leaning against a stack of dusty cans, a well-used hammer. Her brow furrows. Birdseeds seem an odd find in a place like this, but the hammer could definitely be useful for breaking through obstacles or creating a distraction.
Right.
She quickly grabs both, her mind racing with possibilities of how to use them. Suddenly, a blood-curdling shriek rips through the house. The squelching sounds of the mud octopus stop abruptly, followed by a heavy thud. It seems Granny has dealt with Jack's muddy diversion. The silence that follows is even more terrifying than the previous noise, signaling that Granny is once again on the hunt, and this time, she's likely more enraged than ever. The mud octopus is gone. What's Granny's next move? And how will the team use their new keys and items?
Oh, man. I'm back, y'all. Wait. Okay. Let's get the stuff right.
Eagle versus Granny and a timely reunion. Jack, realizing his mud octopus was no match for Granny's fury, quickly shifts his focus. From his hiding spot under the bed, he frantically mutters a new incantation, his hands moving with renewed urgency.
Make him out of the bed, though.
A shimmering metallic glow fills the space beneath the bed, and with a series of sharp clangs and whirs, a majestic metal eagle takes shape. Its eyes glow with an internal blue light, and its sharp talons are ready for battle. "Fight her, get her away from me," Jack whispers, pointing towards the sounds of Granny's heavy breathing just outside the room. The metal eagle bursts from the room, letting out a piercing screech. It immediately swoops down, talons extended, directly at Granny. Caught off guard by the unexpected aerial assault, Granny swings her bat wildly, but the eagle is too fast, striking at her arms and head, forcing her to focus on the new threat. A furious battle ensues in the hallway, clanging of metal against wood filling the air as the eagle relentlessly pecks and dives. Meanwhile, Izzy, carefully making her way through the dark house, catches a glimpse of a familiar figure in a dimly lit study. "Miles," she whispers, relief flooding her voice. Miles turns, his quiet demeanor unchanged. "Izzy," he acknowledges with a nod. "Did you find anything?" Izzy asks, holding up the bird seeds and hammer she'd found. "I just heard, well, Jack's got something fighting Granny right now. Did you find anything useful?" Miles silently pulls out the heavy dark weapon key he found. He holds it up, letting Izzy see its strange, ancient design. "This," he states, his voice low. "I think it's important." With Granny distracted by the metal eagle, and Miles and Izzy now together with their new finds, what's next for them? And what is John doing with his padlock and spider keys?
Good question. Stop putting that bee in there. That I think we can easily beat her. Yeah, we can. Oh. Yeah, so why are you guys hiding from her?
A change of tactics. The clang and screech of the metal eagle battling Granny echoes through the house, a testament to Jack's ingenuity. Meanwhile, John, ever the strategist, taps the side of his high-tech watch. A faint blue glow emanates from it, and a moment later, a small, holographic projection of his face appears before Miles and Izzy. "Hey, wait a minute. John's voice crackles through the watch's tiny speaker, laced with a sudden realization. Why are we hiding from Granny? We're superheroes. Izzy's eyes widen, and a slow, confident smile spreads across her face. You're right, she exclaims, a spark of her usual fiery determination returning. What are we doing? Miles, ever quiet but always observant, gives a subtle nod. Now that I think about it, he says, his voice a low rumble, we can easily beat her. Just then, Jack's voice, slightly breathless but resolute, comes through the comms. Yeah, we can, he says. The Eagle's doing a good job, but we can end this. Let's go on with the story. Gemini, with their renewed determination.
Okay, let's just do this because I don't think. Hang on, yeah, because he thought he was. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, never mind.
A shift in strategy. As the metallic screech of the Eagle and the furious clanging of Granny's bat echo through the house, John, hidden in the basement, taps his high-tech watch. A small, clear display flickers to life, and he speaks into it, his voice barely a whisper, yet amplified to reach his teammates. Hey, wait a minute. John's voice crackles through their comms. Why are we hiding from Granny? We're superheroes. A beat of silence. Then Izzy's voice comes through, a renewed spark of confidence in her tone. You're right. What are we even doing? Miles's quiet voice follows. Now that I think about it, we can easily beat her. Yeah, we can. Jack chimes in, the fear in his voice replaced by a surge of determination. The realization hits them all simultaneously. They are powerful individuals.
Right.
Each with unique abilities, capable of facing far greater threats than an old woman with a bat, no matter
Exactly.
how menacing. The game had put them on the defensive, but now the tables were about to turn. With their newfound resolve, what's their plan to take down Granny and escape the house?
Cause why y'all hiding from her? Y'all easily kill her. Yo, I made y'all way too powerful for that. Y'all faced way more powerful. Y'all fought the Phoenix Force and won. The White Phoenix Force and won.
The assembly. All right, everyone. John's voice crackles through their comms, a newfound authority in his tone. New plan. Let's meet up in 3 minutes. Main living room. We're taking Granny down. Miles, after securing the weapon key, quietly moved through the labyrinthine corridors. He heard the fierce clanging of the metal eagle still engaging Granny, buying them precious time. He knew the layout of the house now, and made his way towards the central living room. Izzy, clutching her hammer and bird seeds, made quick work of finding her way back. She saw the dust kicked up from the ongoing battle between Granny and Jack's eagle, and carefully skirted around it, a determined glint in her eyes. Jack, having watched his metal eagle bravely fight, pulled back, letting his creation continue the aerial assault. He slipped out of the bedroom and, with a new sense of purpose, headed for the designated meeting spot. Exactly 3 minutes later, in the dim, dusty main living room, Miles, Izzy, and Jack converged. John was already there, his high-tech watch glowing faintly as he scanned the room. Everyone here? John asked, looking at each of his powerful teammates. Present, Izzy confirmed, hefting her hammer slightly. Miles gave a curt nod. Ready to go, Jack added, a determined look on his face. Good, John said, a plan already forming in his mind. Here's what we're going to do. What's their plan to defeat Granny?
Let's do this, y'all.
The coordinated attack. All right, here's the plan, John stated, his voice firm and decisive as he looked at his assembled team. We hit her hard, fast, and together. No more hiding. He turned to Miles. Miles, you're up first. When she comes through that door, I want you to kick Granny in the face 3 times. Miles nodded, his stance already shifting, ready to strike with his ice-infused power. After that, John continued, looking at Izzy. Izzy, you follow up immediately. Hit her with a medium fireball. Aim for center mass. Izzy grinned, a flicker of flame already dancing in her palm, eager for the fight. Then, Jack, John said, turning to the magic teenager, as soon as Izzy's blast connects, you blast her with your magic energy. Give her everything you've got. Jack's eyes glowed with renewed power, his hands already beginning to crackle with arcane energy. And finally, John concluded, his own eyes narrowing, after all of that, I'll blast her with my heat vision. We'll put her down for good. A unified sense of determination settled over the group. The hunter was about to become the hunted. They could hear the sounds of Granny's heavy footsteps approaching, drawn by the sudden silence after the Metal Eagles fight. The living room door creaked open, revealing Granny, bat in hand, her eyes blazing with fury. The stage is set. Will their combined power be enough to defeat Granny?
So they attack and win.
Granny's defeat. The living room door creaked open, and Granny shambled in, her eyes still blazing with a terrifying fury from her encounter with the Metal Eagle. But this time, she wasn't met with cowering fear. She was met with a united front of superheroes. Now! John commanded. Miles moved like a blur, appearing directly in front of Granny. His foot lashed out, connecting with her face with an audible thud. Once, then twice, then a third time. Each kick sent a jarring shockwave through her, momentarily stunning her. Before she could even register the blows, Izzy unleashed a medium fireball. It erupted from her hand, a compact sphere of intense heat that slammed into Granny's chest. The impact threw Granny backward, a strangled gasp escaping her lips as smoke momentarily plumed from her tattered clothes. As Granny stumbled, Jack seized his opportunity. He thrust his hands forward, and a shimmering torrent of magic energy erupted from his palms, engulfing Granny in a crackling, vibrant blast.
Get her!
The force of it lifted her off her feet, sending her crashing against the far wall with a heavy thud. Finally, John's eyes glowed with an intense heat. 2 powerful beams of heat vision lanced out, striking Granny precisely where she lay. The combined assault was overwhelming. The terrifying old woman lay still, defeated. A collective sigh of relief swept through the group. They had done it. They had faced the nightmare of Granny and emerged victorious. Is she really out? Izzy asked, her flames receding. John approached cautiously, scanning Granny with his watch. She's down, and she's not getting up anytime soon. He looked at his team, a rare smile touching his lips. Now, let's find that exit. With Granny defeated, the house's oppressive atmosphere began to lift. What do they do now to escape the house?
He push. White button that makes the orb shrink. Hang on, y'all. I'm crafting up something here. Reveals their hold and Jake the creepy hacker. Okay. It's a long thing. Yeah, he got a lot to. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue this wild adventure. The orb, the exit, and a familiar face. With Granny incapacitated, the immediate threat was gone, but the group knew they weren't truly free yet. John, ever the strategist, wasn't leaving anything to chance. He reached into a hidden compartment on his suit and pulled out a sleek, metallic, high-tech orb. It fit perfectly in his palm, reflecting the dim light of the living room. "Can't leave her here to recover," John muttered, pressing a purple button on the orb. With a soft hum and a flash of light, the orb instantly expanded, growing to several times its original size, forming a containment field around Granny's unconscious body. John, with surprisingly little effort, maneuvered the enlarged orb until Granny was completely enclosed within its shimmering walls. Then, he pressed a white button. The large orb immediately began to shrink, rapidly compressing until it was once again the size of a golf ball, Granny now miniaturized and contained within. John pocketed it with a satisfied nod. Their attention then turned to the door, the one Granny had emerged from. It seemed like any other old door, but then John's keen eyes spotted something subtle on the frame, almost invisible in the shadows. A small, almost flush button. "Jack," John said, pointing to it. "See if you can figure out what that button does with your magic. Safely, if possible." Jack, intrigued, approached the door. He extended a hand, a faint glow emanating from his fingertips as he channeled his magical energy towards the button, sensing its properties. A moment later, the button clicked inwards with a soft whir, and the door itself began to glow with a gentle, inviting light. It swung open, not into another room of the dilapidated house, but into a blinding, familiar daylight. As they stepped out, blinking against the sudden brightness, they found themselves standing on a familiar sidewalk, surrounded by the sights and sounds of their hometown. The old dusty house had vanished, replaced by a perfectly normal-looking residential street. A wave of relief washed over them. They were finally free, but the relief was short-lived. Standing across the street, leaning against a lamppost with a smirk playing on his lips, was Jake the creepy hacker, his eyes glinting with malicious amusement. What will happen now that they've escaped Granny's house only to find their old enemy waiting for them?
Creepy hacker. Let me copy his name too and get him in there. Yep. I know Jake. Okay, freeze.
Did you enjoy your trip? Jake asked, a smug grin on his face. No, John replied, his voice hard. Before Jake could respond, Miles acted. A wave of icy energy emanated from him, and a blast of frost shot towards Jake, encasing the hacker's high-tech wand in a thick layer of ice.
Face 2 times. Then yeah, get him, y'all.
With Jake's high-tech wand frozen solid, Izzy wasted no time. She darted forward, her fists a fiery blur, and delivered 2 swift, powerful punches directly to Jake's face. The smug look was instantly wiped from his expression as he staggered backward, dazed. Before Jake could even think of retaliating, Miles acted again. With a silent command, a cage of solid ice erupted from the ground, encasing the hacker completely. As Jake struggled within its frosty confines, the cage began to shrink, compressing around him. The creepy hacker was now trapped, his schemes temporarily foiled. What will the team do with Jake now that he's captured?
Oh, I just said, okay, and you say.
Jack casts a spell, shrinking Jake. Miles then uses a Pokeball to contain him.
Get the stain right, dude. Why you keep ignoring?
As Jake struggled in the shrinking ice cage, Jack quickly cast another spell. A shimmering light enveloped the trapped hacker, and with a pop, Jake became even smaller, now no bigger than an action figure. Miles, John said, already pulling out a sleek spherical device from his belt. A Pokeball, put him in there. Okay, Miles confirmed, carefully picking up the miniaturized Jake and swiftly trapping him within the Pokeball. The sphere glowed briefly before settling into a familiar, contained hum. With Jake secured in the Pokeball, what's next for the team?
Yeah, I'm Bruno. And you gotta get Mark too, y'all. $6:20 already, really? Time to know how to slow down. Gemini, if you get this wrong, that's okay. We just have to fix it up a little bit, but.
Back at base, the team, with the Pokeball containing a miniaturized Jake secured, made their way back to their hidden base. The familiar hum of their headquarters was a welcome sound after their bizarre ordeal. Inside, they found Musa the sorceress of elemental, shadow, and light magic, Gwen the magical spy, Bruno the shapeshifting master, and Mark the powerful sorcerer of elements, time, and bad luck magic, all waiting. "You guys are back," Gwen exclaimed, noticing the unusual silence from the usually boisterous Jack. "What happened? You look like you've seen a ghost, or an old lady with a bat." John set the Pokeball down on a central console, then began to recount their day, starting with the unexpected trap in Granny's house. He detailed the unsettling atmosphere, the constant threat, and how they initially resorted to hiding. Miles added quiet details about his discovery of the weapon key.
Wait. You guys are back when it's like, like y'all was back. I heard y'all spell Pacific, y'all. I don't know what it is. What's the? Unless your magic senses something going on with them. I guess we do with that, yeah.
Back at base, the team, with Jake the creepy hacker now safely contained in a Pokeball, finally made their way back to their hidden base. The familiar hum of the highly advanced facility was a welcome sound after their ordeal. Inside, they found Musa, the sorceress of elemental, shadow, and light magic, Gwen, the magical spy, Bruno, the shapeshifting master, and Mark, the powerful sorcerer of elements, time, and bad luck magic. "You guys are back," Musa exclaimed, sensing the shift in their energy. "What happened? You look like you've seen a ghost, or a very old lady." John, never one for drawn-out stories, began to recount their day. "We got trapped in a horror game. Granny's house. Had to fight our way out." Miles, in his usual quiet way, added, "Granny was defeated. Contained." He gestured to the Pokeball John was still holding. Izzy, still buzzing with adrenaline, chimed in. "And then Jake the hacker was waiting for us when we got out. But we handled him."
The other's day before the others tell them. You know, gimmick with it they don't know, not.
Back at base, the team, victorious and with Jake contained, made their way back to their hidden base. The familiar hum of their headquarters was a welcome sound after the day's bizarre events. Inside, Musa, the sorceress of elemental, shadow, and light magic, Gwen, the magical spy, Bruno, the shape-shifting master, and Mark, the powerful sorcerer of elements, time, and bad luck magic, were already there, engaged in various activities. They looked up as John, Miles, Izzy, and Jack entered, curiosity on their faces. "You guys look like you've had a day," Gwen observed, a hint of amusement in her voice. John set the Pokeball containing Jake on a nearby console. "You could say that," he replied, a tired but satisfied smirk on his face. "So let's just say our morning started with an unexpected vacation to a rather hostile old house." Miles, in his usual quiet manner, gestured to the Pokeball. "We encountered a resident, and then an old acquaintance." Izzy jumped in, her energy returning as she recounted the tale. "This house was insane. We got trapped, and this creepy old granny was hunting us with a bat. We had to split up, and I found bird seeds and a hammer. Not exactly my usual arsenal," Jack enthusiastically added. "And I made a mud octopus. And then a metal eagle. They both fought Granny. It was wild." John then took over, explaining their initial fear, the realization that they were superheroes, and their coordinated plan to defeat Granny. "Miles kicked her in the face 3 times, he said, and Miles gave a subtle nod. Izzy followed up with a fireball, Jack blasted her with magic, and I finished her off with heat vision. And then," John continued, holding up the Pokeball, "we found this guy waiting for us when we got out." "Jake the hacker." "Miles froze his wand," Izzy interjected. "And then I punched him. Twice." She flexed her fists playfully. "And I made him small," Jack added, a proud grin on his face. Musa, Bruno, and Mark listened, their expressions shifting from concern to amusement to genuine awe as the story unfolded. They clearly had no prior knowledge of Granny or the specific capabilities of John, Miles, Izzy, and Jack. As the others finished their animated retelling, Gwen, ever practical, headed towards a large glass-encased tank in the corner of the base. Inside, Corbin, the giant Pacific octopus, stirred, extending a curious tentacle. Gwen began to sprinkle the bird seeds, which Izzy had likely handed over, into the water, watching as Corbin gracefully collected them. "So what's the plan with Jake now?" Mark asked, crossing his arms, a thoughtful look on his face as he eyed the Pokeball. "What did they decide to do with Jake?"
Oh my gosh.
You're absolutely right. My apologies for that oversight. Let's correct that understanding. Musa, Bruno, and Mark are definitely aware of John, Miles, Izzy, and Jack's capabilities. My mistake was assuming they didn't know the specifics of their powers. Let's pick up from the point where John is showing them the contained Granny, and they're discussing Jake. Back at base and what to do with Jake, the team, victorious and with Jake contained, made their way back to their hidden base. The familiar hum of their headquarters was a welcome sound after You're absolutely right. My apologies. I'll make sure to reflect that Musa, Bruno, and Mark are fully aware of John, Miles, Izzy, and Jack's abilities. Thanks for helping me get better at this. So what's the plan with Jake now? Mark asked, crossing his arms, a thoughtful look on his face as he eyed the Pokeball. Musa, Bruno, and Mark, already well aware of their teammates' capabilities, had listened to the day's wild recounting with a mix of concern for their friends and fascination at the bizarre turns of events. They knew John's tech, Miles' ice, Izzy's fire, and Jack's magic well. John tapped the
Hang on. Okay.
Pokeball. He's contained for now. I even managed to trap Granny in another orb, he added, pulling out a smaller, identical orb to show them. She's also miniaturized and secured. Bruno, ever the strategist, shifted his form slightly, his eyes narrowing. Good call on securing Granny. We don't want her popping up again. As for Jake, we need to interrogate him, Musa stated, her voice calm but firm. He clearly set this up. He probably knows why. We can't just leave him in there forever. Gwen, finished feeding Corbin, wiped her hands. Agreed. He's a digital menace. We need to figure out his endgame. I can try to extract information from him psychically once he's out of the Pokeball, Mark offered, his eyes flickering with a faint temporal glow. It might be safer than letting him near any tech. Or, John considered, we could keep him in the orb and run some diagnostics on it. See if we can access his mind through the containment field without him having direct contact. What's the best approach to deal with Jake? Interrogate him directly, or try to extract information while he's still contained? A good way, John said, turning to Mark, would be to let you get information from him with a spell, Mark. That way, he stays contained, and we minimize any risk of him trying to hack something or escape. Mark nodded, a thoughtful expression on his face. I can do that. It will require some focus, but it's certainly the safest approach. He looked at the Pokeball, his eyes already beginning to glow with a faint, multi-hued light. I'll need a quiet space, perhaps the interrogation room, just in case he tries to resist mentally. Bruno shifted back to his human form, giving a slight nod of approval. Good. We don't want any surprises from Jake. Musa, Gwen, you two ready to assist if anything goes wrong? Always, Musa confirmed, a small sphere of elemental energy forming and dissipating in her hand. Gwen already had her spy tech glasses on, scanning the room for any potential blind spots or hidden devices Jake might have left behind. Ready when you are, Mark. With the plan set, what happens when Mark attempts to extract information from Jake using his magic? Mark extracts the information. Mark took the Pokeball containing the miniaturized Jake into a specialized, soundproof interrogation room. He placed the ball on a shielded pedestal, then closed his eyes, his hands hovering over the sphere. A soft, pulsating aura of shifting colors, blue, green, and a faint shimmering gold, enveloped the Pokeball as Mark began to channel his unique blend of time and bad luck magic. He wasn't just probing Jake's mind. He was navigating the hacker's past actions, tracing the threads of his digital manipulations and malicious intent. The process was intense. Mark's brow furrowed in concentration, and a few beads of sweat appeared on his forehead.
Yeah.
He sifted through Jake's digital blueprints,
I bet.
the coded whispers of his plans, and the arrogant conviction behind his actions. After several minutes, the colorful aura around the Pokeball faded, and
Good.
Mark opened his eyes, a wealth of disturbing information now stored in his mind. He emerged from the room, looking grave but resolute. The others were waiting expectantly in the main common area. Well? John asked, sensing the shift in Mark's demeanor. He's been busy, Mark stated, his voice tight. Jake didn't just stumble upon Granny's house. He created that digital environment as a trap. He specifically designed it, and the Granny AI, to drain your energy and test your weaknesses. Musa gasped. He was observing you? The whole time? Exactly, Mark confirmed. He used the game as a sophisticated data-gathering operation. He wanted to analyze your combat capabilities, your teamwork, your individual powers under stress. He was looking for vulnerabilities, weaknesses in your communication, anything he could exploit. And the reason for all this? Bruno pressed. Mark's eyes darkened. He's planning a massive digital assault, not just on our systems, but on the city's infrastructure. Power grids, communication networks, financial systems. He intends to cause widespread chaos. He wanted to understand how best to counter us when we inevitably move to stop him. The Granny House was just a preliminary test, a simulation to gather intel before his main event. Izzy clenched her fists. So he used us as his personal guinea pigs? Precisely,
Yeah.
Mark nodded. He considers himself an architect of digital anarchy, and you all were his unwitting beta testers for a new level of system disruption. He plans to hit within the next 48 hours. The news hung heavy in the air. The relief of escaping Granny's house and capturing Jake was now replaced by the chilling reality of his larger, imminent threat. With this critical information, what will the team's next move be to stop Jake's plan?
Dang. Yo, we gotta continue this off. He asked the good questions.
Understood. I'll keep all this information saved. The team has uncovered Jake's plan for a massive digital assault on the city's infrastructure within the next 48 hours, and they know he used the Granny game to gather intel on their abilities. I'm ready whenever you want to continue the story and decide their next move against Jake.
Okay, trying to. I want a good reply back.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help you with this crazy story so far. I've noted that Jake only tested John, Jack, Izzy, and Miles for a little while, and I'll remember that for next time.
Right.
I'll be ready whenever you are to continue the adventure and see how the team handles Jake's impending digital assault.
Yeah, I'll keep this Gemini chat, y'all. We'll continue the story next. This story will continue later in the day or probably tomorrow, maybe Thursday night, whatever. Maybe Thursday after work, maybe like Sunday night. Who knows? Maybe next Tuesday evening, Tuesday after Tuesday noon. Maybe it'll be this story will be continued, y'all. Okay. See y'all.